Golden nuggets of courage and know-how.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
discovering how to launch and grow a $1 million podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Look, we're not just here just to talk. We need to monetize.
Hold on. Hold on. Did someone say they want to learn how to launch $1 million podcast?
I think you heard that right, David. Thank you. I don't know. Are they in the right place?
Oh, the audacity to think that you are going to change not only your life, but somebody else's life with your voice. To think that the message you've been sitting on for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years is actually about to get out into the world. I have to tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, when I worked at the Cheesecake Factory as a server, I saw something. I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody said, I remember telling one of my friends, I'm not going to be here long. I'm not going to be working at the Cheesecake Factory long. And the look they gave me was like, bruh, you really think you're about to leave us? You ain't about to leave us. What you mean? And that's when I knew, whoa, sometimes when you have a vision, it scares people. Because now you're a reflection of what they don't see as possible. But I'm here to tell y'all, I was a server at the Cheesecake Factory. Before that, I was a server at Olive Garden. Before that, I worked a security job. Before that, I worked at Circuit City. Before that, I worked at Applebee's. Before that, I was a dumb college student that wanted to be a rapper and sold just enough weed to buy long t-shirts and get fitted hats that were too big for my head. And that was my life. So the next time y'all go to a restaurant and you have a server serving you, I want you to look at that person and say, oh, they can be something. And that person's serving you right now, which means you're at an advantage. You've got something. Somebody put it in the chat. I've got something. Somebody put it in the chat. I've got something. Listen, you have something special. And I need you to know it. None of this stuff is going to work unless I can get you to believe that you have something special. And there is no better time in the world to launch your podcast. Family, listen to me. Before this week gets started, and I know we're all excited for this week, and I'm actually streaming this on my YouTube channel. We are starting the Launch Your Podcast Challenge, and we are on a mission to free the voices of 100,000 people. Our objective is to directly and indirectly impact the voices that will change the world. We don't have leaders anymore. There's no more Dr. Kings. There's no more Malcolm X's. Yo, we don't even have R&B groups. We can't get 4 people to come together and say, you're going to be the lead and we're going to back up and we're going to grow. Somebody put a active group in the chat, like R&B, rap, group. There's no groups because nobody wants to be led. Nobody wants to be the background to anyone. Why? Because we all have a voice. But I'm telling you, you are going to be the leader of your tribe. And I'm going to be the leader of my tribe. And Nella's going to be the leader of her tribe. And Selena is going to be the leader of her tribe. And when we come together and Derek has his audience of people, or he's teaching dads how to be dads, or we have Albert teaching people how to live a more confident life, or whatever your podcast is about, when we have our tribe of people that we are changing lives, when we come together, we will be able to lead the world together by leading our individual audiences. Let's lead. Throw it in the chat. Let's put let's lead. Let's lead. Let's lead. This is not going to happen unless I can get you to believe that you have something special. I worked as a server, taking orders, refilling drinks. I don't know if you know the feeling of what it feels like when someone lifts a glass with a few cubes of ice in it and shakes it at you. I don't know if y'all know that feeling. Like, who you talking to, first off? Like, yo, I need more. I don't know if y'all know that feeling, but I know the feeling. But I'm telling you, that didn't stop me from knowing that I have a vision and I'm going somewhere. So listen, y'all, this is just the kickoff call. And for those that are here, I'm really, really excited that you are here. Let me, I have just a couple things I want to prepare you for as we move forward. Okay. So if you're excited, put excited in the chat, throw a fire emoji in the chat, throw ones in the chat. If you are excited, throw it in the chat. I need to know that you are excited, because the thing that was holding you back, was the fact that you just didn't know what to do. It's not that you don't have a message. It's not that people haven't already told you that your voice is magnetic. You just didn't know what to do. So we are going to take that excuse away from you. Now, if you want to hold on to your excuse, the thing that keeps you stuck, you might not want to spend the next 5 days with me, because I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to nudge you. I'm going to be your business partner. Me and some other really successful entrepreneurs and content creators and podcasters, we are going to arm you and prepare you to lead generations of people. So the first thing I need is a little excitement. Somebody throw it in the chat. What is the reason we are going to start this podcast? Somebody throw it in the chat. What is the reason you're going to start this podcast? We need a reason. What is the reason? It can't be because somebody told me to start a podcast. There needs to be a reason. There's a message that the world needs. There's a message that the world needs. And maybe it's not for the world. Maybe it's just to prove to yourself that you aren't afraid of a camera. You know you have something special. Ever since a kid, you knew you was going to be in the lights and you was going to be on stage. And maybe you got to 35, 40, 45, and you've dwindled your dreams down to, you know what, maybe I'll just be the manager at this place. When you were a kid, we would put pictures, posters of basketball players. I know I had this life-size poster of Allen Iverson on the wall, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to be that one day. We used to put Lamborghinis and we used to put fast cars on the wall when we were kids. We used to put the dream house as we were kids. Then we get a little bit older, then we put our vision board. In college, we start putting our vision boards together, and we put that on the wall. But by the time we get mid-20s, 30s, we take down the posters. We take down the vision board. We take down those dreams, and we replace it with bills on the refrigerator. We replace it with obligations. We replace it with overdue notices. Taking down all of our dreams. I want you to dream with me for 5 days, if you don't mind. If you all are willing, if you guys are just willing to dream with me for the next 5 days, the next 5 days will change your life. The next 5 days will change your life. And I'm being 100% honest. My objective isn't to change your life. My objective is to change your life so that you have the courage to go out and change other lives. Our objective is to be responsible for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people being affected because we decided to put 5 days of training together for you to be all that you can be. So the objective of this particular call is to make sure we have that belief, okay? Now, some of us are in general admission and you registered. Congratulations to everybody that's VIP and Platinum. We got some really, really special stuff for y'all, VIP and Platinum, because we are going to be able to spend a little more time together. Meaning your questions are the only questions we are going to answer. So if you all are in general, it is not too late to upgrade. I'm sure the team has a way that we can do that. Latrice, can you want to come and just share how someone could upgrade before I get into the rest of this? Latrice or Nella, anybody that knows, because I don't necessarily have the steps right quick.
Hey, Dave, yes, absolutely. We will drop the link in the chat so YouTube can upgrade.
For sure. Okay, cool. So you guys in the Zoom, y'all don't have to worry about it. We'll drop that on the YouTube, you all, for you all to get in the room. And for those that are in the room, I'm telling you, we are going to do some cross networking to make sure that some of these people that I'm going to introduce you to this week are going to be some of the first people that are going to be on your podcast anyway. Some of the people that you're going to be introduced to are going to be some of the first people to interview you. Some of these people, some of you all have the same objective, same audience, and you all might be co-hosts. I bring this strength, you bring this strength. We're going to do a virtual show, or some of you guys are going to be in the same city. So I want to make sure that the people in the room, my VIPs and my platinums, have connection. We are going to connect you all, okay? So here's what to expect. We need you on time every day of the challenge. Okay, I need you on time every day of the challenge. The challenge officially starts at 7 o'clock. You have to be on by 7 o'clock. And some of us are struggling with being on time. For the next 5 days, I'm asking you to challenge yourself to stop being late everywhere. And no disrespect, because I don't know you, so I'm not talking to anyone directly. But when I grew up, my mom was one of those people. I was late everywhere. I mean, my mom had me coming in the middle of the second quarter to my basketball games, not for any other reason other than the fact that she was a late person. And I began to be late. It was like hereditary. I had hereditary lateness. So I grew up just being late everywhere I go. But if there was 5 days that you could challenge yourself to be on time, this is the week I'm going to ask you to do. So just put it in the chat, on time, if you are dedicated to be on time at least 7 o'clock. Now, at 6:30, we've got some powerful, powerful, powerful guest speakers that are coming on. Some of the likes of Donnie Wiggins. Somebody throw Donnie in the chat if you are excited to hear from Miss Donnie Wiggins. Incredible all-star business coach. I remember she made her first 6 figures in her first few months of launching her podcast. Incredible. We also have, we got my man Brendan Boyd coming through. Now, Brendan, yes, he has a podcast, but that's not where he makes his money. Because he saw an opportunity. Listen, y'all, we have 5,000 people registered for this Launch Your Podcast Challenge. Do you know what that means? It means that podcasting is alive and well. And also, there's an audience of people who really, really want to get in the game. Now, what Brendan does, he represents podcasters and guests. So I want y'all to lock in for a second, because I don't just teach content creation, we teach entrepreneurship. There are people who have a podcast. Somebody put a 5 in the chat if you have a podcast. Somebody put a 5 in the chat if you actually have a podcast. Cool. One of the challenges for those who have a podcast is finding a podcast guest that's going to be a fit. Now, through this training, I'm going to teach you, so y'all ain't got to worry about this. For the average podcaster, they're always trying to think of, okay, how do I find these guests? Well, Brendan understands that. So he goes to those podcasters and say, hey, I can get you some guests, and we'll have a non-stop stream of guests to come on your podcast that want to get on your podcast. Cool, no problem. But he understands that there is a group of people who are looking to get on podcasts. Somebody put a 2 in the chat. If you are a coach, you have a product, you have a service, you have a story, and you want to get on podcasts, somebody throw a 2 in the chat. Interesting. Look at all the 5s. Look at all the 2s. So Brendan goes to the 2s and say, hey, I have a database of podcasters. If you will give me a small monthly fee, I will make sure you can always get on a podcast. Guess what? He charges both sides. He charges the 2s and the 5s. Brendan Boyd will be teaching on the Launch Your Podcast Challenge. We also have Mr. Jose Bennett. Now, I know some of us know Wall Street Trapper. Some of us know some of these huge names. This is the man behind the scenes of a lot of these podcasts. He's worked with E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher for years. He is the brains behind understanding the back end and the creative edge on how to grow something special. We got Jose Bennett coming through. Who else we got? Speaking of which, the big homie, the OG. You gotta be here at 6:30 sharp. Because this week, on one of the 6:30s, I'm not gonna tell you which one, but Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, will be in the building. He is going to teach. Listen, he's the first person I've ever met that was on YouTube. He raised a whole generation of content creators. He was doing podcasting before we knew what podcasting was, before podcasting had a name. He was podcasting. E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher will be on. So not only myself, we got Ryan teaching all the ins and outs of the camera gear, all that stuff, everything you need to know. We got my coach, my mentor, the person who personally introduced me to $1 million lifestyle, showed me how to become a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, but also content creator. My coach, he's coached so many people. My partner now, CJ, will be teaching, dropping gems. We got Nikki Saunders going to teach you the whole AI software game, making your life easy. And if y'all excited, man, put a 5 in the chat if you're excited and ready to learn this week. 6:30, we are going to start with the mini sessions, and then we're going to get into the 5-day challenge every single day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. The challenge starts at 7. Clear your schedule. We will be on till about 8, and we'll do some live Q&A from 8 to 8:30, and we will get you out of here, okay? Now, we need you to lock in. Please, wherever you gotta go, get there by 6:30, because we are gonna be teaching. This is not motivation. This ain't hype sessions. We're giving you homework every single day, and I need you to write down the homework. We can give you all the information, but if you're not at least willing to do the homework, I cannot help you. I'm asking you all to work just as hard as we will. We are going to be working hard this week. We spent the last few months crafting this information. This ain't we just getting on here spitballing. We've created a system that's already worked for a whole bunch of other. Listen, first off, I personally helped thousands of people launch a podcast. But we've formalized this thing over the last few months, making sure there's no rock unturned. All of the questions that you have will get answered this week, okay? And that's why we put the 30 minutes of Q&A down, okay? So this is going to require 90 to 120 minutes of your time every single day, okay? So we need you all locked in. Lastly, and I don't want to take up too much of your time today, and I'm gonna give you all some game in just a minute, but I just want to get my housekeeping stuff out the way. So just a reminder, for those who want to get their questions answered, you have to upgrade to either VIP or Platinum. Let me just tell you what VIP gets, and shouts out to everybody that's already VIP that's on the Zoom right now with me. I can see y'all little boxes, and we about to get into it. I'm gonna answer some of your questions. You will get the 21 viral episodes ideas PDF. What would you invest if I could give you 21 viral episode ideas? You take the 21, put your own spin on it. Even if you did half of them, out of the half that you did, 1 or 2 could turn everything around for you. Also, you are going to get lifetime access to these replays being VIP. Okay, if you're VIP, you will get lifetime access to these replays. All right, so we'll stream it on YouTube, but it's going to come down, but you will be able to access this stuff for the rest of your life, okay? Or as long as YouTube is up. Okay. So we're going to give you the access, okay, lifetime. We're going to get the podcast playbook ebook. You're going to get my networking no-nos ebook, which I've been teaching people how to network, and that will change the game for you. Dreams are built overnight, how to create a bridge between your day job and your daydream. That is my first book. We sold thousands of copies, and I personally, with that book alone, I stopped counting after like 50 or 60, but we've helped hundreds of people quit their job with that book alone. You're also going to get the entrepreneurship mini course, a human behavior mastery certification. You're going to understand the DISC assessment for yourself and other people. And most importantly, you're going to be able to ask questions during Q&A simply by being VIP. Now, for my platinums, this is what I recommend. This platform. You're going to get everything I just mentioned in VIP as a platinum, but you're also going to get the guest pitch kit template, okay? You're going to get like a plug and play template for pitching yourselves to be on podcasts and also get other people on your podcast, okay? Professional pitches, persuasive pitches. It's so easy to customize, and we're going to show you how to use it, okay? You're also going to get the Platinum Digital Toolkit, okay? It includes exclusive templates, scripts, content calendars. It's designed to help you organize and grow your podcast faster than ever, okay? We are trying to help cut the learning curve for you. And then also, in addition to all the stuff I described, you'll get the Pro Podcast Content Calendar, okay? So it's a downloadable 3-month content calendar, and it's designed to help top podcasters get your plan in order, stay consistent after the challenge, okay? So you guys need to check your email because we're going to send you the invite to join the community. It's important that you're a part of the community. So check your email, check your text. We will drop the link, okay? We'll be active in there daily. So not just challenge time. We're going to be active in there daily. It's almost like we about to be at a summer camp for 5 days. If y'all didn't get in Streamers University with Kai Sinat, it's going to be like y'all in the dorm room with us. All right, so we in there all day, okay? You're also going to get the Q&A chat engagement. It's going to start from 7:30 to 7:45. We'll open the floor for audience questions for my VIP and Platinum, okay? So here we go, y'all. Y'all good so far? Can we upgrade to Platinum from VIP? Yes, there will be a link. We will drop a link in the chat. We got you, Tracy. All right, so here we go. I'm going to give a quick little training on how to take your game to the next level, how to get the most out of this week, okay? For one, I want you to start, this is the beginning of the homework. I want you to start ideating what your podcast is about. Now, some of you might know what your podcast is about already, and some of us might say, oh, well, it's going to be about relationships, or we're going to be telling the stories of entrepreneurs, or we're going to be talking about mental health. Let me tell you something so cool. So we just did a live session Wednesday, and we had a bunch of people in the room, and we did a session, and I had my man 500 on there, and he started talking about alpha males and beta males. And one of my mentors, I don't want to say his name, is super huge celebrity. He texted me and he sent me a 3-minute voice note. He was like, bro, we need to have this conversation because this conversation around alpha males and beta males, it's really a most toxic way of thinking. And he said, yo, I'm gonna jump on your podcast and we're gonna have a conversation about it. And in this 3 minutes, he broke down an idea, a topic, a conversation that is much needed. So some of us might say, okay, we're going to talk about mental health, but I want us to drill down into a unique conversation that we can have week after week after week, okay? So some of us might say, well, I want to have a podcast about relationships, but we have to have a unique spin on this conversation. We can talk about relationships, but what about a concept where I am interviewing people that have already been divorced? Have you ever talked to some divorced people? Okay. You don't have to put it in the chat. And you might be happily married now. But throw a 1 in the chat if you've ever been through that. Got you. Well, have you ever seen a podcast where it's only about that? I haven't. The objective is to come up with some sort of conversation that you haven't seen yet. So many people say, yo, Dave, I love the Social Proof podcast. When you interview entrepreneurs, man, I'm gonna be a great interviewer, and I can get some interviewers. I can get some entrepreneurs on my podcast too. I'm saying, cool. I'm with you, but don't do what I did. Not because I am afraid of competition. I'm saying everybody interviews entrepreneurs that interviews entrepreneurs. But what about the people that's interviewing entrepreneurs where we don't talk about all the money you got? We only talk about the losses. Or I'm only talking to entrepreneurs and we're talking about the emotional human side and what all this money does to you. This is a different twist. Relationship podcast. Okay, here's the whole basic premise of my show. I find two people that used to be married to each other and I interview him, then I interview her, and then I ask the same questions and get the perspective, and I mash it up into one episode so you get to see they weren't even in the same room. You can see why they're divorced because it's the same conversation, two different perspectives. Interesting, no? No? If you guys watch, listen, and I need y'all to do your research this week. There's a show called Soft White Underbelly. Have you heard of Soft White Underbelly? Have y'all heard of that before? Bro, they interview people straight off the street. I'm talking about, the title might say, Family of Meth Heads. And they are interviewing a family of meth heads who are currently, during the interview, on meth. It's live. It's right then and there. They're nodding off. They're leaning. Whoo! They will get my mom used to call them ladies of the night when I was a kid. She's like, or she's a streetwalker. They will get a streetwalker. And I remember being so intrigued by this concept. I'm like, this is why, because you don't really get to interview these types of people all the time. And this young lady said, I'm talking about she's currently a streetwalker in LA. She said, man, I always wanted to be in this profession. Like, my friends wanted to be cheerleaders. My other friends wanted to get into real estate. My other friends wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to make money by doing strange things. Can you imagine? Okay, do me a favor. Throw it in the chat because all of you guys are interviewers, right? Type one question you would ask this person. Come on, this is what this is going to be like for the next couple days. Okay, I need you to work just as hard as I am. There's a young, and I'll try to find it and I'll put it in our community. A young lady grew up, and this is the career I've always wanted to be since I was a child. What would you ask her? If this was your interview, what would you ask? What's the end game? What is it that drew you? Ooh, come on. What is it that drew you? That made you want to do this? Come on. How did you get started? Tell me about that first experience. Who was your role model? What's your why? Oh, come on, Vanessa. Vanessa says, do you feel that it gives you power in some way? Hold on, do you feel like this is your form of control? Come on, family. I'm asking you for your show to think slightly out the box. Now, someone might teach you podcasting and they're going to tell you this is the type of camera you need, this is the type of audio you need, this is how you get your guests, this is how you interview. That's cool. But the name is called Launch Your Podcast Challenge, but I don't want you to just launch your podcast. I want you to become a millionaire. I want you to be interviewing the biggest celebrities in the world. I want you to be in the runnings for Podcast of the Year. I want you to have a viral sensation. Come on. The young lady, Bobby, right? She's interviewing high-level celebrities. You get Mark Cuban and you're asking silly questions. You interview Drake and act like I don't even know your songs. That was some of the most powerful stuff I've ever seen. I need us to do something different. That's why I started this hot seat show, and y'all wouldn't believe like the fruit that thing has bore for me. It's incredible. Everybody started interviewing successful entrepreneurs. I said, let me start interviewing unsuccessful entrepreneurs. Where do you find that? Where you gonna find that at? Yes. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I'm going to be training you to think differently this week. This isn't just about a microphone and a camera. I want you to change your life after this. And if you're with me, if you're going to rock with me for the next 5 days, I can guarantee you will not be the same after. Okay? So, if you're excited, throw some fireballs in the chat. Throw some fireballs in the chat. Let's go. Look, I see the faces, man. I see the faces. Albert, I see that smile. I've been trying to get that smile all night, man. I'm seeing that. Yes. Love that. Okay. All right. So let's open this thing up real quick. For those that are in the VIP and Platinum on the Zoom right now, let's get some hands up. Just put your hand up. I will answer any question that you have. Let's get to it, man. There's a bunch of y'all in here too. This is awesome. So just raise your hand and I will bring you up. And make sure you have your camera on because I need to see you. I need to bring you up, okay? So Shaylin, until you get your camera on, bring that camera on, okay? I'm going to get Marquetta. Marquetta, what's happening? Hold on, am I spotlighted myself? I need to spotlight myself. Hold on 1 second. Bow. Okay. What's up? Can you hear me?
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Hey, what's up, we can hear you.
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh my gosh, when I tell you, I have been waiting. Listen, couldn't sleep for a couple of weeks ever since I joined. Okay?
Come on. Let's get it.
I just wrapped up a VIP or a live with Herman as well. So you
good.
Speak very, very highly of you.
That's my guy.
My question is, because I've been trained well. There's a lot of people up here.
Come on.
My question is, how do you narrow down on a title and also the demographic?
Got it.
Because I'm all about our Black and brown community.
I got you.
I'm all about, like you just
I got you. Marquette, I got you. I got you. Question is, how do we narrow down on a topic? How do we narrow down on an audience, messaging, things of that nature, right?
Yes.
The way we do that is we don't think of what we want to deliver for a group of people. The first thing we should consider is what is the problem that I want to solve and who deals with that? What is the problem that I want to solve and who deals with that? So, real quick, what is the problem that you want to solve?
So I am a veteran and I overcame military.
Whoa. What is the problem that you want to solve? Without a story, just give me the problem you want to solve.
I would say the problem is.
And here's your homework. Here's your homework.
Okay. Go
come up with a problem. Get clear on a problem that I want to solve.
Okay.
That will, all the other questions you have will fall into line. You might say, okay, there's a problem. People get out of military and maybe they retire. I'm just throwing something out there. People get out of the military, they retire and they don't know what to do because I'm like lost in this world right now. That's a problem. The question is, who deals with that problem? And then you'll start coming up with a bunch of people who deal with that problem. People that have been in the military for 20 something years, people that like get discharged, people that like, there's just an audience of people who have this experience and they no longer have the experience. Now they're out, right? So you'll start thinking of an audience of people. And based on the problem in that audience, you will start coming up with topics that you need to hit. That is going to help them solve that problem. And going through that exercise in these next 5 days, you'll come up with a title.
Okay. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you.
I got you. You're very welcome. Hey, look, man, y'all don't even got to get the whole question out. I've helped thousands of people. So whatever you're dealing with, I've answered the question already for somebody, and I just get it in the beginning, okay? All right, Eric Scott. What's up, Eric? Y'all got them cameras on, too. I rocks with y'all. What's up, family?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. My question might be the same. I just kind of wrote down here, how are you going to help us guide us through the process if we're not sure of the topic we are interested in? I just came on really to watch. I've seen you on, I don't watch TV, man. I've seen you on YouTube a couple times.
My man.
So let me jump in and see what he's talking about.
I got you.
How are you going to guide us this week through the process of discovering that?
Got you. There's a formula. So the same answer that I just gave the young lady is I didn't say, all right, well, I just want to start teaching people podcasts. There's a problem. And over the last few months, we've thought about every single problem that you all are facing. One of the problems is there's a bunch of different equipment and gear to get. And there's a bunch of different budgets. Some people's like, yo, I got some money. I'm going to get the best of the best. And some people like, listen, I am on a fixed income. And I can't just go get no $2,000 camera. We already understand the problem. I know most of us have an idea, but the idea is mad boring. And you're not a creative thinker. And you can't think past, okay, I'm just going to interview some people. And there's some people that are like, yo, I don't even have a concept. I knew I want to do something, but I don't even have a concept yet. I've already thought through your problem. And then all of the training started to come in line. So if you rock with us for these 5 days, we will solve that problem. And because you're in VIP or Platinum, one of those, you'll be able to ask specific questions so that we can get your specific question answered. You feel me? We thought through it for you, baby. I got you. My man, thank you, brother. All right, let's get Tyree up. Tyree, what's happening, Tyree? Am I pronouncing that correct?
Dave?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Good.
I wondered if you could talk about the difficulty of hosting a podcast by yourself versus having a co-host.
They're both difficult. So the question is, what is the difficulty versus hosting a podcast by yourself or having a co-host or you have guests? So I've done all three. The tough part about doing it by yourself is you're by yourself and there's nobody to bounce off of. So you might have your notes and you're just on there cooking, but there's no real energy. The way I get around that is I go live on Instagram or go live on YouTube and I start talking in that way to that, or at least there's somebody in the room, right? But for your solo, if you're going to do it solo, you just have to make sure that you're constantly solving the same problem for the same audience every single week. You don't want to just get on, oh, I'm inspired, I want to talk about this. You really want to think about an audience and solve the same problem every week because you want people to come back and be able to expect the same thing. So one day, you may be talking to the topic of mental health. And then the next day, you're talking about the NBA Finals. Well, if the first time I heard you were talking about mental health, I'm like, oh, that's my guy. This was good. I can't wait for the next episode. And the next episode drops, you're talking about why Jordan is better than LeBron. And it's like, I didn't really sign up for this. So we want to be consistent in whatever one we choose. So that would be the difficulty is you got to come up with content yourself and be able to cook by yourself. Yeah. The difficulty as a co-host is you got to coordinate times with a co-host. And there's a 50% chance that one of y'all ain't going to be on. Okay? I'm sick. And then once I get better, you sick. And then once you get well, we both well. Oh, I got to travel. Oh, my husband got me doing this. My wife. So that's one of the challenges. And another big challenge is you both might have two different objectives and be talking to two different audiences, but because you didn't identify that, y'all got together and there's no cohesion in the message. So some of us say, oh, I'm gonna get my best friend. We're gonna start a podcast. Yeah, let's start a podcast. I'm starting for a reason. You're starting for a reason. Two different reasons, two different audiences. And now we start butting heads. So if you're gonna do a co-host, make sure we have a conversation about who we're talking to and why we're doing this together to make sure we're on the same page. Challenge with guests is sometimes they stand you up, sometimes it's harder to get them on. If you're not a good interviewer and you don't have a good guest, it can get real bad. So there's some people that's going to answer the question because it's not good at it. And if you're not good at asking questions and keeping it engaging, you're not ready for those short answers. It's like, okay, so what inspired you? And they say, man, my dad was my biggest inspiration. All right. I mean, okay, so what did your dad inspire you? Right, for sure. 100%. So we got to work on the craft of interviewing. So we'll talk through that this week, but there's challenges with all of them. There's not one better than the other. The only thing I would say is with a co-host or with guests, you get other people's audiences faster. So, but there's no right or wrong.
Gotcha.
Cool?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I am going to have so much fun this week. Y'all have no idea. Shannon Wright, what's happening? Oh, I love this stuff. What's up, Shannon? Yeah, you meet it again.
From Chicago. Hello.
What's up, Chi-Town?
Chi-Town in the house. All right. I am so excited. Thank you so much for this wonderful 7-figure training.
Let's go.
I have multiple questions, but I'm going to refrain. Okay, so the one that I wanted to know the most is, don't you have to have a certain number of followers or people watching before you can actually go live? And if that's the case, will we follow each other so that we can meet those numbers? And then the other part was that I have multiple topics, and I was wondering if I should have 2 podcasts, like sort of like multiple podcasts under one channel or one account.
Okay, real quick. First off, focus.
Exactly.
Just focus. Okay, I could tell right now, Chi-Town, you got a million ideas in that beautiful brain of yours, and you're like, I can talk about all kind of stuff. I know a bunch of stuff, and people come to me for a bunch of stuff, and I can engage in a whole bunch. But I want you to focus, only because it helps with brand recognition if you are known as an expert in this one thing. You understand? So
I already speak. I'm just bringing it online now.
For sure.
And it's 2 lanes.
But
I already speak for. Yep.
But I'm asking you to narrow it down.
Okay.
To owning a space, owning a conversation. Okay, it's not that you can't do the other stuff, but for the purpose of this podcast, let's make the podcast about one of those things that you're amazing at, and let's just start branding ourselves in that way. Okay, but
Because
yes,
looking for the problem and the problem.
100%. So
Right.
most of us here are thinking, I want to deliver something, but we don't think about, let me first consider the problem and then reverse engineer that thing. You feel me? So listen, this is going to be very, very helpful next 5 days for you. And yes, like whatever those metrics are for different platforms have different restrictions, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, whatever you're going to do it on. Yeah, we just got to figure out how to get to the number, and having a good show will get us to that number. All right. I got you, Chi-Town. Rocks with you.
Thank you so much, Shannon. David,
Yes.
I know you want to give all the gems right now to all the questions. We are at time.
Dang. Okay. Well, all right. First off, that ain't me. That's on her. Okay. So don't get mad at me. You don't want, because I sit here all night. Listen, I could do Q&A for the next 6 months, and I just wouldn't get like. But I know this is family day for you all. It's actually family day for me. Okay. And I told my wife, I was like, yo, I'll be up by 8. You feel me? And when I told her I was going to be up and like done by 8 o'clock, I knew I was lying. You feel me? Because I was like, ooh. Not I knew. I was like, I was going to try. But I knew, and she knew. She knew, bro, you're going to come up to this joint at 8:45 and we supposed to talk. And we got a Netflix night. Okay, so actually, thank you, Nella. And I think maybe my wife texted Nella and said, hey, make sure that boy is off this call. 7:45. But yo, listen, if y'all that are here right now, so Shay, Vanessa, Rashad, Derek, Ebony, Brian, Sheila, Shaylin, Tracy, John, Terry, listen, we got 5 days of this. I will make sure everybody gets an opportunity to get their questions answered. Okay, this is my promise to you. Okay, we got 5 days of this, and that's why you guys are VIP, so that VIP and Platinum, so that we can get your questions answered. Man, forget all that. Huh?
Really quick, because I know we have a lot of hands up.
Yep.
Can we like maybe rapid fire, like maybe about 3 or 4 of them real quick?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Come on up.
Because I got 12 minutes. And I'm going to use these 12 minutes. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of my wife. I'm not afraid of that woman.
As you whisper.
Vanessa, what's up? Vanessa, what's happening?
Thank you. I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Let me get your question real quick. What up?
Okay, real quick. So you answered most of my questions, but I've been on the radio. I've hosted a couple of radio shows before, and I've done some interviews. Mm-hmm. What will be the difference for me doing the podcast? And it's something that I really wanted to do because I would have more control.
You have the skill set. Now it's just building something specific. So it's like a director, right? I've been writing screenplays and shooting or whatever, but now I'm going to decide to shoot my own sitcom, and I'm going to shape this sitcom, and I've got plans for this sitcom, and we are going to monetize this sitcom in this particular way. You already have the skill set. You already understand how to have a conversation, but now we're going to shape this show for a particular group of people who deal with a specific problem. You get me?
Okay.
So it's no different in your ability to execute. But the difference is we are locked in on building this one special thing. Cool. Let's go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Rashad, what's up? What up? Let's go. Rapid fire. Rashad, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Doc? My bad. I had to take myself off mute. So
you good?
Short, man,
I got it. Hold on. I got it, Nella. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, Rashad. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so long story short, my name is Rashad Grospan, and I'm asking for help regarding a niche. And real quick, I'm an attorney, 30 years old. At the age of 27, when I graduated law school, I passed the bar. I raised $500,000, and I started the first alcohol delivery tech startup in the state of Alabama. I scaled it across 3 cities. Unfortunately, just being unexperienced, first time going at it, it failed.
Yeah.
However, obviously, it wasn't a failure; it was a major lesson. So, 3 months ago. Well, we launched this Monday, but we started a podcast, me and 4 friends, and the podcast is called Robology, with the hopes of sharing insights to help people avoid failure. Like real quick, and I'm done. At 17, I was also charged with murder, right? So I did go to jail just for homicide. So basically, the conundrum is mixing this whole thing about like. Get there, because the people looking at me is like, hey, Rashad, how did you beat that? Go to law school.
I got you. Rashad, I got you. Rashad.
I'm done. So
it's a lot. What
like niche down. It's like growth and self-improvement. What is my soft white underbelly? Because I feel like I'm kind of all over.
I got you. Same answer. Start with the problem that we want to solve. So there's a bunch of things that you can deliver. So this thing goes 2 ways. It's like, I want to deliver a message to people. And I got a bunch of messages to deliver. And I got my 4 friends, they got a bunch of stuff to deliver too. And we're just going to be on here delivering. Versus, get your 4 friends together and say, hold on, what is the problem that we are going to collectively solve? We have to start with the problem first before we even ideate. You understand? So come together. Okay, what is a big problem that we can solve with this show? And our mission is to solve that problem. And that will start shaping the topics and your lessons and, your life and things. You'll be able to share all of that stuff through the process of solving this problem. But you got to make sure you and them co-hosts are on the same page that this is our mission. We're not just on here because Mike's, like, because we can afford microphones.
Gotcha.
Solve a problem first and weaving your story, helping people solve that problem with your story and your experiences. Cool? Let's go. I got you. Derek, what up? Come on, D. Yeah. What up?
You got me?
Yes, sir.
What up, Doe from Southfield, Michigan?
What up, Doe?
Coming to you with a different question here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a studio owner and a producer.
Yep.
And I've been producing other people's shows. I have several sets. And I was told, how come you don't have a show?
Okay.
I was like, well, it's in concept. It's
Okay.
show now. I'm just wondering, with me being a studio owner and having my own show, would that help build that cred to bring people into my studio? Because my concept is for young people, 18
Yep.
to 30. And when that person said that to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I got something for you.
Well, it depends. So the way I would look at it is if the first goal was, I want to build out the studio and I'm trying to make money from shooting other people's podcasts because it's a very lucrative field. My podcast would be about starting a podcast or like the research of podcasts. And I'm doing an episode on, okay, this is what Joe Rogan talked about. This is what David Shands talked about on Social Proof. This is what Jay Shetty talked about. This is how podcasting is growing, things of that nature, or something for content creators, because the show's purpose is to bring people into the studio so that you can monetize that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do a podcast having a different message, because we want people to, when they think of you, they think, oh, this person knows something about podcasting. This person knows something about content creation. Not about helping kids. Now, if that's a passion project, I'm not saying don't do it. But what I'm saying is we start with the problem. The problem is there's a lot of people who want to shoot some content. They don't know where to shoot it. Well, if that's the problem, my podcasting is about ushering people into how to communicate on camera. What type of content goes viral? What are the top genres of podcasting? And that might be the show, because when people tune in, you're solving their problem. And they reach out and say, yo, I want to come to your studio.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good, because I'm a 30-year broadcast engineer.
Come on, bro.
I'm broadcasting all my life. So.
Yeah. My whole podcast will be about broadcasting.
Got it. Thanks, bro.
Let's go. Listen, man, this is good. I'm so excited because I feel like we're able to watch people unlock some stuff in real time. And if we can do this in a 60-second question, imagine what's going to happen in the next 5 days. So I need y'all locked in. Ebony, what's up? Ebony. What up? You are unmuted.
Hi.
There we go.
Hi.
What's up?
So if the purpose for me in creating a podcast is to raise capital, is more a tool to raise capital, how much of my topic should be related to that? And is it better maybe to focus on what my expertise is if that's a separate topic?
You're trying to raise capital for your company?
No, for a separate project. So I'm a general contractor
Yep.
with business and hotel renovations, and I'm raising capital for hotel acquisitions.
You're raising capital for hotel acquisitions.
That's the goal.
Got it. Well, my podcast would probably be about investments, period, in maybe real estate or whatever. So we're thinking about the audience of people that's going to watch this, right? And your audience needs to be people who are going to give you some money, right? So what's the type of content that those people are listening to? They want to hear the story of okay, and I don't know the answer to this. For one, when the plane hit those towers in 2001, right? Yeah, 2001. First off, who owned those buildings? 2, what was that rebuilding process? 3, how much money did it take? 4, did some people get some deals for pennies on the dollar, and then once it got reconstructed, what was that cash out like? Or is there there's some development there's a new hotel in your community, and you did all the research to find out information about that from the investor's perspective. An investor that wants to invest is listening to that type of content, and once you present them with a deal, they know they know that you know what you're talking about. They will be willing to invest in you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So think about the audience of people and shape your show to be attractive to the people that you're trying to attract. Got it?
Okay.
This is good. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Brian, hold on. Okay. Text that woman and tell her I'll be right. Tell her I'll be right there. Because I wear the pants and stuff. Hold on. Only because Shaylin in the chat, she was like, oh my gosh, can I please answer a question? I'm going to get these last three. Brian, you got to be quick, my boy. Because I'm going Brian, Sheila, Shaylin, and then we out.
Question is this: is it wise to distinguish and develop your personal brand from your podcast brand separately at the same time? How are your thoughts on that?
Your personal brand and your business brand as a person or a business?
Both. So I'll give you more context. I am, my podcast is really about personal development and growth over the context of maturing men in the modern society.
Yep.
So we're finances, we'll touch relationships, we'll touch politics. But I am growing as a man. So to what extent do I lead with that front end version of Brian's becoming versus the podcast show's becoming?
Yeah, it should all be intertwined. They should all work together. So I am an entrepreneur and I want people to trust me as an entrepreneur. So I have a podcast that shows that I understand entrepreneurship because it's going to lead people into my community where I teach entrepreneurship. But we have to know the end goal. We need to know what we want this audience member to do. What do we want them to do? I want them to book me as their coach. Well, the show is going to be shaped around helping that audience of people grow so that when I have my ad in my podcast saying, hey, I know you're stuck. I know you're feeling this, da-da-da-da. Click the link below. I'll be able to help you. Let's get back to the episode. So it's a matter of confusion a lot of times. Like, I don't know really where I want to take my brand, but over the next 5 days, we'll help you shape that, okay? But for right now, your homework is, what do I want my audience to do? If I had an audience of people and they were going to do exactly what I asked them to do, what would I want them to do? And that should tell you how you start shaping your brand through this podcast. You understand? Cool? All right, cool. Sheila, then Shaylin. And I'm putting my whole evening on the line for y'all. I hope y'all know that. Because it takes a little while for her to not be upset after she's upset. So, what's up, Sheila? What up?
Hey, David.
What up?
Let me first say that so I've been rocking with you for a long time. Back in 2021, I was a part of the morning meetup and just love it.
For sure.
Everything your team brings to the table, right? So with that said, I have a concept for a morning show, for a podcast, all of that. I have two questions, and one I'll ask later on.
Give me one real quick.
Longer one. The one I want to ask now that's quick is the one that I want to ask about. Is there one platform where I can upload a video and it goes to multiple screens at a time?
Is there a platform? I think either Ryan or Nikki will be answering that. Okay. For video. Like right now, I'm on Ecamm, and Ecamm can distribute a live to my YouTube, to my Instagram, and my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. It could do all that at the same time. But that's not a pre-recorded video. So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Nikki or Ryan's will be able to touch on that and answer that for you, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, you're very welcome. Good stuff. All right, Shaylin. And let me just bring up Terry since he's the last one, bro. Just what's up, Shaylin?
Okay, hi.
What's up?
Thank you so much. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but it's Sunday. Just so you know, the Bible says first shall be last, last shall be first. You called on me, my camera would come on, and it kicked me out for 6 minutes.
Come on.
Thank you, David.
I got
Here's
you.
One quick question. I'm working on building visibility online. I've been doing like a lot of one-on-one, so I'm bringing it to social media now.
Mm-hmm.
So someone said they at the beginning they want to build a 7-figure podcast, and you keep saying make money having a podcast. I'm learning, so can you tell me like what brings brings in that money? You know, like I know TV will bring, like ads will bring the money, but I need the foundation. So, and then I'll ask my other questions this week. Thank
Gotcha.
you.
Yeah, for sure. Bunch of different ways to make money. So we're going to get into it this week, but there's a bunch. We're not waiting for advertisements. For instance, let's say you're talking to people that are trying to get sober, right? I recommend we create some sort of ebook where it helps people get sober, 10 little steps. And if our podcast is about that, once we offer the ebook, we'll be able to make money directly from that. We can have our own small mentor, our own small community of people where we're charging $5, $10, $20, $100 every single month because they want to get the value beyond the podcast that you drop every single week. Or we can do like set up like a Patreon where people just support because they like it. You don't even offer nothing. It's just $5 a month and support. There's so many different ways to monetize the podcast. I just need you to take notes. There's a lot. We're on it this week though, for sure. Okay. I got your back. Cool. Give me Terry King and I'm out of here. Only because that's my guy. That's my guy right there. And you already pissing me off because you're driving. And I don't need you driving this week if you really going to lock in. All right? What's up?
Dave, I'm locked in, man. I'm actually headed to my hotel. So I'm be locked in this week, man. I'm finally about to tap into doing a podcast. We probably talked about it 5-6 years ago, but I'm finally about to do it.
Let's go.
I'm at a crossroads, though. It's I want to interview comedians and talk about their process, but at the same time, I want to give my take on certain topics, or and I also want to deal with mental health because I'm in a great mental space, and a lot of people ask me, how do you get there? How did you get so positive? How did you get so confident? How did you get so comfortable with being yourself? And I want to discuss that as well. So I'm at a crossroads of where do I go? And I didn't know if I should put on 3 and 1 or.
I got you. If I were you, I would not. If I were you, I don't think I would have a podcast interviewing comedians because the pool of comedians that want to watch the story of other comedians aren't that big. However, I think there's a cool way to do it where we're tackling certain topics that's going on and maybe your guest is another comedian, but we're having real conversations from a comedian's perspective. So the problem that we're solving is real dialogue that's happening right now. Like we need real answers to what's happening, let's just say in the mental health space. But if you're a comedian and another comedian starts talking about the mental health, we're talking about the Diddy trial, one of y'all might start cracking inappropriate jokes about Cassie. But we get to hear it from a serious conversation from a comedian's perspective. In that way, we still get to invite comedians on. It's not about their journey or their story, but it's about their perspective. We still get their audience because they'll start posting clips of the conversation from your podcast. But also, we get to have these real serious conversations from a very unique perspective. You get me? And so that's because I'm always looking at what is the problem that we're going to solve? What do people care about? Who is the audience that's going to be listening? So if we're talking about serious topics, what gives us that twist is, okay, we need to know, but I still want to be able to find a joke in there every now and again. Not that comedians tell jokes all the time, but that would be kind of like a direction I go. But this week, let's keep shaping the concept and idea, and let's figure out, by the end of this, okay, we're locked in, we're ready to go. Cool?
Gotcha.
I got your back, bro. All right, man. Woo-wee. If my wife start acting funny by the time I get upstairs, it's your fault, okay? It's your fault. But I sacrifice this for y'all because I love y'all. I love y'all. And I just got to deal with the consequences, okay? I'm a grown man. Listen, y'all, this week, lock in, man. If you know somebody that wants to start a podcast, make sure you send them the link to get in the Launch Your Podcast Challenge. There are going to be thousands of people that launch their podcast this week. And if you are already general admission and you want to get these questions answered, okay? Y'all know I'm dedicated to making sure we get as many questions answered as possible, but I can't answer your question if you're just in the general because I can't even see you. I can't even like build a relationship with you like that. So make sure you upgrade, be in the VIP, be in Platinum, get your upgraded tickets today. I love you all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Nella, do you got any closing notes or something like that?
No, nothing closing.
We
Y'all
got
VIP because I know y'all got burning questions.
Let's go. Let's go.